Hmm. So let us begin. I hope I'm clearly audible. Welcome to Goose Ashram. Myself Vikas Gupta. So let me begin. As we have decided, we will go through all the important current affairs into two sessions. One will be prelims focus, other will be mains focus. We will discuss one important comprehensive article that will cover different part of the syllabus, GS1, GS2, GS4 and so on and so forth. This is prelims special where we will discuss prelims based content especially. ठीक है, तो बी फोकस देयर. तो दिस इज अप्रैल करंट अफेयर्स. इट विल टेक टाइम, मतलब यू कैन अज्यूम दे विल बी 3 to 4 क्लास, फिर अप्रैल, फिर मे. वी विल कीप ऑन मूविंग फ्रॉम अप्रैल 2024 एंड विल कंटिन्यू till we come to the present and we'll continue from that process. ठीक है. So as you understood that it is prelims focused. This class is prelims focused. After this there will be a half an hour class another for discussing a very important news comprehensive sense for mains. First, Mohiniyattam. Okay, it was in news in context of Kerala because remember Mohiniyattam, it's a classical dance form. We know there are some classical dance form. Kalari Peyattu, Mohiniyattam. You must know all the classical dance form where they are practiced and 2 or 3 point special features about them. Let's first discuss Mohiniyattam. Why it is in the news? Because the Kerala Kaladamandal, a prestigious cultural institute, has announced a significant policy change allowing male dancers. This is the change. That's all you have to remember. This is a change that now Mohiniyattam can be practiced by male also, because it was previously specific to female only. As you can see in this picture, the female is dancing in particular fashion, classical dance. The word Mohini means maiden, which steals the heart of the onlooker. Maiden basically, of course, it is talking about the female. Okay, it is based on the celestial enchantment of the Hindu mythology. According to Hindu mythology, it is performed. Okay, second famous dance from Kerala and has a very similar format, that of Bharatnatyam. So we understood two things for prelims purpose. From Kerala, you have two dance forms, Mohiniyattam and Bharatnatyam. These are two popular dance form, classical dance form from Kerala. This is the second one. And remember here, solo female dancer in the single costume. It used to be practiced by female and female only. What has become the change? Now male are also there. If UPSC asks you or any state PCS asks you that which of the following statement are true about Mohiniyattam, they will surely write it can be practiced only by female. If you know from current affairs, if you know from arts and culture, you will put it yes. But now you need to remember that Mohiniyattam can be practiced by both male and female. So male have been included. That's the thing you have to remember. Next, lyrics is in money problem. Remember this term, money problem. What do we mean by money problem? That is Sanskrit plus Malayalam. So we have understood two important things about Mohiniyattam. First, it's a classical dance form as we know from our traditional and static course, but the new change is now not only the female but also the male can practice this form. Second, it is in money problem, that means Sanskrit plus Malayalam. That's the language we use here, and it is particularly dedicated to Vishnu and Krishna. You know that most of the dance form are dedicated to Ras Leela. Okay, basically Krishna's or you can say the various incarnation of Vishnus that we have. That there is one Vishnu that is yet to come. That is believed at the end of this Kali Yuga, they will be Kali, the last form of Vishnu that will come into this Yuga, because every Yuga had the form of Vishnu, and he will end Kali Yuga. So we do not know when this person will come. If you remember that, if you have seen that movie Kali, the movie that has come, in that there is a reference of Kali that is yet to become. Remember, UPSC has asked this question earlier, but in context of Buddhism, the Buddha that is yet to come. There is a Buddha that is yet to come. Similarly, there is the last form of Vishnu that is yet to come, known as Kali, that will end this Kali Yuga. So remember, generally most of the classical dance form revolve around the Krishna consciousness. Okay. Mohiniyattam follows the Hast Lakshan Deepika. So few things you have to remember, not in deep details. Nothing beyond this will come in UPSC or any state pieces, doesn't matter. So few things you have to remember. First, it is no longer a feminine dance form. Even the males are present. It uses money problem, that is Sanskrit plus Malayalam. Okay. It used to be female, now it is male as well, and it uses a particular form of dances or mudras, that is Hast Lakshadipika. So these are few things you have to remember. Next, it belongs to Lasya style. Lasya का मतलब होता है female. ठीक है. We have different style forms in classical dance. One is lasce. Lasce means female, but remember it is no longer exclusive female. So you cannot say it belongs to only lasce. Now even male can perform this. It's a good thing, I believe. And these are some very known person of money problem. ठीक है. Sunanda Nair, Jay, Prabha Menon and Pallavi Krishnam. For UPSC, you do not need to remember these three names. UPSC does not revolve around the name. So for UPSC, you need to remember the upper things. That is Vishnu and Krishna. It is dedicated Hast, Lakshmi Deepika, Lasya style and money problem. That these things you have to remember for UPSC. For state PCS, if you are applying for any state PCS, then you have to remember these names also. Because state PCS often ask names that you have to remember. Fine. Next, Vaikam Satyagraha. It was also in news in April 2024. Vaikam Satyagraha initiated. What we know about Vaikam Satyagraha, we are celebrating 100 years. This year, that is 2024, is the 100th year of the Vaikam Satyagraha. 100th year of the Vaikam Satyagraha. Vaikam Satyagraha initiated in 1924 in Vaikam Travancore. That is basically, you can say, Kerala. It is also from Kerala. Vaikom, because we know from in Indian freedom struggle there were various movements. We know particularly from subalterns. Subaltern is an English term which means the depressed class. You collectively call them subalterns. So subaltern mein you had B.R. Ambedkar, you had Periyar who started self-respect movement. Okay, Periyar who started self-respect movement, and Justice Party and all drama was there. And then Vaikom Satyagraha. It was in Kerala side, and the prominent leader of this movement was T.K. Madhavan, K.P. Keshav Menon, and most important K. Kalappan. You have to remember this name, K. Kalappan, who is also known as Kerala Gandhi. There are numerous Gandhis, if you know. There is one Gandhi we know, there are other Gandhis, the frontier Gandhi, Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, the Kerala Gandhi. Okay, please remember Kerala Gandhi means K. Kalappan, he led this movement. And what was this movement about? This movement was about caste injustices. You know, Kerala is also famous for a particular kind of tax known as breast tax. There was a tax on the lower caste. Now I come to the very important point that you have to remember, that anyone, BJP, RSS, Hindu Mahasabha, all those people, even in mainstream media, the Godi media of India, they talk about now we do not need caste census, we do need caste census. This is a very clear example how castes are oppressed. Lower caste, imagine lower caste women were not allowed to cover their breast. If they have to cover the breast, they have to give a tax. That was a breast tax in Kerala. Again here in Vaikom Travancore, there were temples at Travancore. The lower caste cannot go around, leave alone entering the temple. You cannot go around the roads of the temple. That was level of caste prejudice. If you say that there is no caste prejudice today, then you are particularly upper caste. I always say one thing. If there is anyone on this country which says there is no caste prejudices, I can guarantee without knowing their name, you can directly say they are from upper caste. Only upper caste feel there is no caste prejudices. There is caste prejudices. I always say, if you are from lower caste or you are a woman, then someone will tell you that you have limitation, even as a joke. Even as a joke they can tell you, but they will remind you that you belong to a particular sex, that is woman, or you belong to a particular caste and you have limitation, you cannot do this, you cannot do that. Okay, remember that. So what was the system? As I told you, in the kingdom of Travancore had an oppressive caste system, in which people belonging to oppressed classes, that is the lower classes, particularly the Azwas, this was a particular Mahar caste was very famous in Maharashtra. Similarly, you have Azwas in Kerala. They had no right to walk. They had no right to walk on the road surrounding the Vaikom Mahadev temple in Kottayam, Kerala. These were the prominent leaders. Please remember this name for sure, K. Kalappan. He is very important. And there was another Satyagraha here, Guru Vyar. This is Vaikom Satyagraha. There was another Satyagraha, Guru Vyar Satyagraha. Both were originated here. Okay. Next, what was the outcome? The outcome was very simple. There was a temple anti-proclamation. After this movement led on, and there was a particular proclamation known as Temple Anti-Proclamation by the Maharaja of Travancore, which lifted this ban. Lifting ban, giving legal right is something. It does not mean that you have all the facilities you imagine in your life. Caste prejudices is still the most common thing in India. As Steffi Jeffrelot has said, Caste is alpha and omega of Indian society. Means caste is the beginning, caste is the end, and everyone practice caste system. Don't think that just because it's a party called BJP which talks about religion, they do not practice caste system. Then why Modi ji always say I am an OBC as a prime minister? If you are so proud of being Hindu, then don't say that I am an OBC as the prime minister. Or there are a lot of in the right wing sections also there are a lot of people who all ticket distribution happens on the basis of caste equations. Everyone practice caste system. We need caste census. Anyone who say otherwise is basically living like an ostrich, or they do not want the other caste to enjoy the equal privileges. We will discuss that later sometime. Clear? So we have discussed two news quickly. Prelims level fact, 2 to 3 point important, not in deep details. We will discuss that in sometimes in mains. The Vaikom Satyagraha, the Guruvar was also in Kerala. K. Kalappan is the most important person, known as Kerala Gandhi, and the Mohiniyattam. Next is atomic clocks. You have to remember one thing here, that there are 7 units. There are 6 or 7, please do check it. Okay, these are the standard units of physics. You need to know all the units and what are their standards, because you the meter convention under which all these units are determined. These are standard units of physics: time, distance, intensity, your mass. These all are standard unit. You must know what are the standard units of physics and what are their standards. For example, time, the SI unit of time is second, and it is determined by atomic clock. Similarly, you need to remember what is weight. The SI unit of weight is kilogram. It is determined by Planck's constant. Okay? Similarly, your molar mass, or it is determined, the standard unit, it is determined by Avogadro number. Okay? So please remember all the units, standard units of physics, how they are determined. One unit we are discussing because it was in the news, that is the time in second, determined by atomic clocks. India is deploying atomic clock nationwide to synchronize all digital devices with Indian Standard Time. We know what is Indian Standard Time, 82.5, that is 5.5 hours Greenwich Meridian, a GMT you can call it. The Greenwich Meridian which goes from the London, from there we are 5.5 hours earlier. It means if there is 12 o'clock on London, then we will have 5.5 in India. Okay, so you have to remember this, 82.5, 5.5 hours, and this is the GMT. And how we synchronize this? We synchronize this using atomic clock, particularly cesium-133 atomic clocks. You can remember that. Next, 12 waves. UPSC often asks terminologies. When it comes to prelims of UPSC and state PCS, they are very different. UPSC focus more on concepts, ideas, while state PCS focus more on fact. And particularly terms. I always say whenever there is a new term in the current affairs, you must know its meaning. The term is swell waves. What is swell waves? You rarely study swell waves in your particular syllabus, but nonetheless, look at here. Coastal areas in the southern and the central Kerala experience inundation from swell waves, also known as Kalakaddal. Prompting alertness from the disaster management authorities. You must remember, disaster management authority are governed by Disaster Management Act 2005. There was an act which governs disaster management in India, and you have created National Disaster Management Authority, State Disaster Management Authority, and District Disaster Management Committees. These are the organizations. Swell wave refer to the ocean wave that travelled over long distance from their area of origin. Bas itna yaad rakhna hai. That's the only thing you have to remember. What is swell wave? Swell wave is a wave which travel thousands of kilometers of distance. They originate at a distant point and they travel to thousands of kilometers without getting disturbed and influence the climate of the area. The way swell waves have come to India. That's why they are called distant weather systems of storm. बात समझ में आई? So what is swell wave? I hope you know from geography. You have ocean current. There are different kind of ocean currents. You have various kind of circulations. You have thermohaline circulations. There are numerous. You have jet stream. In that you can add another term, swell waves. Simply remember one term about swell wave. No deep details. Nobody will ask in prelim deep details. Just remember, swell waves are the waves which travel from thousands of kilometers from a distant phenomenon. Say for example, in America there is a hurricane. It develops a wave that can travel thousands of kilometers toward India. That's what I am trying to say. Please remember that. These waves typically have consistent and smooth appearance and can travel thousands of kilometers across ocean surface without breaking. It's common sense. If they break out, then there is no point of discussing them. Next, negative leap second. You know that Earth does not rotate in a perfect 24 hours. We assume now that Earth rotates in 24 hours, the one rotation is completed. That's why you have a durational variation. That's why the time in one day is 24 hours. That is not the case in reality. The Earth often spins faster, the Earth often spins slower. It depends upon distribution of oceans, ocean land mass and your ice sheets. As we know, global warming is happening, the ice sheets are melting. This will redistribute water, and that's why we are discussing negative leap year. So please remember, what is leap second? It's the second that is either added or subtracted from the standard time to keep it exactly according to the clocks we have. Because okay, we to assume that 24 hours there in a day. No, it is not. It may be a bit lesser, it may be a bit more. Let's say example, the Earth is rotating faster every year, and if you keep your time the same, then maybe after 10 years you may be out by, say for example, more than 30 seconds. After 10 years, 20 years, or maybe a century, you may be out by 1 hour, 2 hour. Means the Earth is rotating differently and your time is different. 24 hours, you calculate 24 hours will be different than what Earth do. So to account for that, we adjust time by a second. Okay, every few years, that is what you call leap second. Depending upon whether the leap second is added or subtracted, it may be called negative leap second or positive leap second. So what is a positive leap second? When the Earth rotates slower than what we standardly assume, then you add 1 second. If the Earth rotates faster than what traditionally we assume, then you subtract leap second. That's how it works. Okay, that is written here. Okay, we know accelerated melting of glacier and the ice sheet in the Greenland and the Antarctica. We know the global warming is happening. It is gonna affect Earth rotation, particularly slowing it down. And so what we have to do? We have to add a negative leap second. The second that we had to add was in 2026, but there is a report because of this distribution, it may be 2029. It will be delayed. That is the logic here. As I told you, negative leap second refers to 1 second subtracted from the standard timekeeping system to compensate for Earth gradually increasing rotation speeds. When Earth rotation speed increases a bit, so you have to subtract. Okay, similarly, which would make the day slightly shorter over time. Opposite, positive leap second. Positive leap second is added to the clock when the length of the day is rising, that the Earth is spinning more slowly. सिंपल याद रखो, अगर वो धीमे चल रही है तो ऐड कर दो, नहीं तो सब्ट्रैक्ट कर दो. क्लियर है? व्हाट इज लीप सेकंड? It is a second that is either added or subtracted from the standard time to account for the slowing or fast movement of the Earth rotation. How Earth rotation is determined? Depending upon various parameters, the distribution of masses in Earth's surface or inside Earth's surface, depending upon the oceans, the ice sheets, the glaciers, the land mass, the movement of tectonic plates, the asthenosphere, बहुत चीजें होती हैं. Just remember simply, if whether the Earth slows or get faster, we have to either add or subtract leap second. That's it. Next is National Information System for Climate and Environment Studies Program. ठीक है, please remember this entire name. ठीक है, NIC ES program. It is basically a ISRO program. It was conceptualized in 2012. It is operated by ISRO. So what you have to remember about this program? It is operated by ISRO according to the Department of Science, which is often headed by the Prime Minister himself. ठीक है, along with other ministry under the framework of National Action Plan on Climate Change. It was a program that was launched by Manmohan Singh. National Action Plan on Climate Change was launched by Manmohan Singh. You need to know all the targets within National Action Plan. There are, if I remember correctly, there are 8 targets. There are 8 different targets in National Action Plan. You need to remember all the targets and with few details. For example, there is a National Renewable Mission. You need to know what is the target in renewable mission. Not deep details. UPSC does not ask very basic facts, but you need to know very few details. Only prelims level data I am talking about. No analysis. Okay. Its primary objective is to generate and disseminate long-term essential climate variables. Simply understanding what is the program. Let us come back. The program is National Information System for Climate and Environment Studies Program. It is launched by ISRO and Department of Space. ठीक है, under the framework of National Action Plan on Climate Change. What it does? Its primary objective is to drive long-term essential climate variables that will help understanding the climate change. That's it. So whenever you have a news, now you need to know few things. First, what is the news? Second, why it is there. This much is sufficient for prelims. Then what could be there, what should be there, this is mains part. You can have mains here also, climate change, you can discuss numerous things here, discussing National Action Plan on Climate Change, the 8 target, the sub target, what is achieved, what is not achieved, what could be done, but that's mains analysis, we will do that later. Prelims ke liye this much is sufficient from the news. Next, diversity program in US. If UPSC will ask, they will ask maximum one liner. No deep details will be asked here. If they have to ask this in mains, then it will be in the context of reservation in India. Is it the best policy? We should adopt the US policy or not? So let's discuss what is this diversity program in US. देखिए, US does not provide reservation. The way we will provide reservation, it's very obvious. US does not have caste system. Christianity and Islam does not have caste system. That's a different thing that the Muslims or the Christians living in India, they practice something like caste. Remember, Islam does not believe in caste system. The Christianity does not believe in caste system. All Christians are same. All Muslims are same in theory. In real life, of course, they practice the class and caste differences depending upon where they live. We will discuss that sometimes in the means why that happen in a religion, how it happens. That's a different thing. For now, just remember, India provides reservation exclusively on the basis of two criteria: social and educational backwardness. The criteria mentioned in the constitution is social and educational backwardness, that is SC and ST reservation. The OBC and EWS reservation is a different ball together. We have to discuss that in detail. We will do that sometime later. Please remember, social and educational backwardness. USA does not provide reservation to anyone. That's why US has a program known as diversity program. What is diversity program? The US government has asked the US universities that we are not asking you to provide reservation to anyone, but what you have to do is ensure diversity. Means, say for example, you have 100 students. We are not telling you that out of 150% seats should be reserved for this and that. No. You have 100 students, all we are asking is please ensure diversity. It means if you have 50 Christian male, then have some female. Then have some Hispanics, Latin Americans, have some Indians, have some Chinese. Well, basically ensure diversity in your campus. That's the logic. But what is happening is many US universities have ended diversity program. This is a problem with nationalism, particularly right-wing aggressive nationalism. We will discuss that sometime later, why it is bad, why it is atrociously bad. Means we will discuss this in detail. But for now, prelims level pe, all you have to remember is that there is something called diversity program in US, which asks its institution like colleges, universities, schools and government institution to ensure one thing, that they ensure diversity in their workforce, students or whatever is the scenario. But many US universities is ending diversity program. The very simple reason is, that's the reason why Donald Trump is elected as the President of America. That's the reason why Modi is the Prime Minister of India. Remember, Modi, Trump, Viktor Orban, these all are brand of one term called soft dictators. These all are soft dictators. We will discuss that sometime later. But for now, remember, because aggressive nationalism, that is the problem with nationalism. Nationalism is not a bad concept, but the way it is used is very utterly bad. Nationalism is often seen in the terms of we and you. That's the problem. Nationalism always tries to find an enemy community. And we know there is aggressive nationalism going around the world. That's the reason BJP is in power. That's the reason Donald Trump won in US. Aggressive nationalism. That nationalism says that America is for Americans only. And that too, Americans, which American? White Christian Americans. The way, you know, some people in India say, India is a land for Hindus only. The Hindu Raj they want to make. Equal concept, same concept, utterly stupid concept that will divide society, nothing else. But please remember, for now, for prelim purpose, there is a diversity program in US. Many of the US universities have ended diversity program. This will impact minority students. Irony hai na? There are a lot of right-wing in India, right-wing people in India, including India's Godi media and universities campus and all. They were cherishing Donald Trump coming to power. I don't know, they're idiots or what. They don't understand Donald Trump coming to power means white Christianity will assert. It will impact whom? Large number of Indians living in America. बट क्या करें, बेवकूफ़ों की जगह नहीं होती ना. वी विल डिस्कस देम लेटर. ठीक है. इट एम टू एड्रेस inequalities by giving special consideration, as I told you, special, no reservation. It is not a reservation program, it is only a special consideration program. You have to remember that. These programs include initiative like affirmative action, as I told you. Admission may you may get some extra. For example, a white Christian may get 20 points, you will get 21 points. That's what it means. Okay? You will have race-based scholarship that Indians, Chinese, they often get scholarship in American universities. You will have diversity, equity, and inclusion. So this is what we mean by diversity program in US, which you can say is something like reservation of India, but not pure reservation, because no seat is reserved here, but diversity is ensured. But most of the US universities are taking back diversity program. Reason is aggressive right-wing nationalism rising in America, as you can see in the election of Donald Trump. Clear? Next, para-cropping system. What is this? This is a new term that I found in the current affairs. We will discuss this. Odisha is promoting climate resilient agriculture. So what is para cropping system? It's a climate resilient agriculture. Odisha government is promoting this. What does it mean? It means that this is also known as rice fallow initiative. So for prelims level, what you have to remember, there is something called para cropping system. In Odisha is promoting this. UPSC will not ask the state promoting this initiative. They never ask. What UPSC can ask in this is, which of the following statement are true about para cropping system? Then it may give you 3 or 4 statements, ask you to select a combination, or it may say select any one of them. UPSC never asks which state launched this, which state did this. No, they do not deal with this. They deal with concepts. They will simply ask what is para cropping system, select the statement. If you are going for state services, UP, PCS, Bihar PCS, then they ask this kind of system, that para cropping system was launched by which state. So understand the state and UPSC has different demand. For UPSC, all you have to remember is para cropping system is a climate resilient agriculture system, that also known as rice fallow system. How does it work? It works once you have an harvest. Once you sow and crop and you cut the crop, of course there is a small duration available. So what is this? That residual moisture. Say for example, there is a crop. I sowed rice. I cultivated the entire crop, and after that there is some moisture, some nutrients are left in the soil. So what I do is, for a very short duration, I grow pulses and oilseeds crop. There are numerous advantages of this, because India is the world largest producer of pulses as well as the world largest importer of pulses. Pulses are very good for soil because they fix nitrogen from the atmosphere directly. It means you have to use less amount of urea. Less amount of urea means you will pollute less soil, you will pollute less crops, and you will pollute less water. That is what you call eutrophication. These are all static concepts you may have studied in your respective subject. I am just trying to make a link here. All you have to remember for prelims purposes: para cropping system, climate resilient agriculture, rice fallow initiative. Under this, once the rice cultivation or a main crop cultivation has happened, for a very short duration, the remaining nutrient and moisture is used for very short duration pulses and oilseeds crop. Okay. And right now there are 8 crops. There are 8 crops that are being cultivated under the scheme, including green gram, black gram, Bengal gram, and mustard. These are various pulses you have. Another thing, eco-friendly inputs, biofertilizer, biopesticide, integrated pest management techniques. Clear hai? This is the maximum thing you need for prelims. No question UPSC will ask will go beyond these 3 points. There is no need to study anything beyond this for prelims. Main scale, of course, you have to discuss a lot of things. Next, exchange traded currency derivative. Economics, as I told you earlier also, I am repeating again. When it comes to UPSC, you must know what is the term and what are their meanings. At most meanings. Do not go in deep details. Nobody asks that in prelims. So you have exchange traded currency derivatives. As the name itself implies, it is a derivative. And it is what? It is exchange traded and it is currency derivative. So even if you do not know what it is, only by the name you can guess. It's a derivative, which you know from your economics books. The derivative is something that drives its value. What is derivative? Derivative is a security that drives its value from something. Say for example, I have this pen. I put this pen and I make a paper. I make a bond paper in which I write, I have a pen, very precious pen, costing this amount of rupees. So what I can call that paper can be called as derivative, because that paper is deriving its value from this pen. That is what you call derivative. So derivative can be of any type. Derivatives can derive value from virtually anything under the sun. So what kind of derivative this is? Currency derivative. Means it's a paper which is deriving its value from the currency, and it is exchange traded. So only by name you can guess what it is. Now let's look at what is the concept here. The Reserve Bank of India has postponed implementation of its new norm for ETCD. RBI controls, please remember who regulates what. You need to know that bond market are regulated by RBI, government bond market. Private bond market is regulated by SEBI, and the share market is regulated by SEBI. Okay, you need to remember who regulates what. Please do not confuse between them. Okay, exchange traded currency derivative are standardized contract that drives their value from currency and are traded on stock exchange, as I told you. Okay, investor can buy and sell a set number of currency unit at predetermined date and price. Of course, you can sell your documents as whenever you need, basically on exchange. How they are used? Investor use them to hedge against foreign exchange risk and to earn profit. Obviously, why you will buy a derivative? You will buy a derivative depending upon whether they are useful for you or not. So for prelims level, please remember the term itself, exchange traded currency derivative, and just know its definition. What is exchange traded currency derivative? It's a derivative which governs by RBI regulation under Foreign Exchange Management Act, FEMA it is called. It is a derivative that derives its value from currency, and it is traded on stock exchange. That's it. Nothing beyond this will come in prelims. Mains mein there is a different debate. We can have that later. Clear hai? That is what I told you. Traded on stock exchange. So these are few things that I had for you. Very few things. Next, organization in the news. There were some organization which were in the news. First is one UN Climate Change Learning Partnership. All you have to know is what is this. That's it. One UN Climate Change Learning Partnership is a collaborative initiative of more than 30 multinational organizations, multilateral organizations that support country in designing and implementing climate change through free information on climate change and free online course. So what is one, or you can call it UNCC Learn. What is UNCC Learn? Maybe UPSC can also ask full form. Sometime it asks. It can also ask which of the following statements are true about UNCC Learn. It can ask. All you have to remember, this one line only. Do not go beyond this. It will be a waste of time. If UPSC asks, maximum it can ask this line. That's it. Clear? Next, IAEA. International Atomic Energy Agency. It was also in the news. The news was not important, but the word IAEA is important. So, what is IAEA? It's a organization at the world level that operate under UN system, but remember, it is not part of UN. So please do not confuse. IAEA, International Atomic Energy Agency, it is operated under the UN system, but it is not the part of the UN system. Say for example, you are living in a PG. You are living in a PG, so you may be living in a house. It does not mean you are the part of the family of the house. You are living in a PG, someone may be a landlord there, and that person also resides in the same part. So PG means paying guest. The PG, I'm not talking about the PG you see in Delhi nowadays. The concept has been destroyed. PG literally means you are a guest, you live with a family properly. The only difference is you pay to live with the family. You eat with them, you sleep with them. Everything is like a family except you are paying. That is what it is. IAEA works under UN system, but it is not the part of UN system. It has been created by a separate treaty. Okay, please remember this very important fact for prelims. Students often confuse, and whenever there is a statement IAEA is the part of UN system, they are like, right. No, it is wrong. IAEA is not the part of UN system. It just works under UN system. Second thing, IAEA what it does, it carry out nuclear inspection. What is the purpose of IAEA? The purpose of IAEA is to ensure that nuclear energy is used for peaceful purposes. There is no development of nuclear weapon, no country engaged in development of nuclear weapon. For that, it signs additional protocol. UPSC has asked, I think in 20 maybe 18 or 19, in 2018 or 19 prelims में UPSC directly asked what is additional protocol. So what is additional protocol? The additional protocol allows us to verify peaceful nuclear material use. India is a member. You need nothing beyond this. होता है, sometimes we also come live, ऐसी बात नहीं है. Clear है? And as I told you in the very beginning, what is the purpose of this series? In this series, we will discuss prelims level fact, because we have found one thing: students find it very hard to clear prelims. Mains is the art. Mains is an art of writing, and you can clear. Mains is comparatively easy than prelims. Prelims is very tough because there are a lot of news you have to compress. So we have launched this special series in which we will discuss only prelims, no mains clutters. ठीक है, prelims level analysis. Clear? So this much is important. This much is sufficient for prelims. Next, important terms in news. As I told you, UPSC often asks terms directly in the paper. First is RETV, Residential Envelope Transmittance Value, RETV. RETV is a metric used to measure heat transfer through a building's envelope. It indicates the thermal efficiency of a building. With lower RETV value corresponds to cooler indoor environment and decreased energy usage. That's it. For prelims, only this thing is you require. You do not require anything beyond that. What is it? Residential Envelope Transmittance Value, RETV. It is used for what? Understanding the thermal efficiency of a building. The lower RETV means cooler environment. It means low energy consumption. Done. Clear? Next, shallow fakes. It was also in the news. We know we are living in the era of artificial intelligence and fake news. And gone are the days when fake news used to be spread by what I call them, fringe elements. Now fake news is spread by political parties. BJP, Congress, both are alike. Fake news is spread by live news channels. For example, I think Navbharat Times or something, Navbharat channel or something, Times Now, I don't remember exactly. They read a fake post by Narendra Modi. There was a account Narendra Modi parody, and that anchor read the fake account itself. मतलब हद पार है. These people have gone into the drains. They do not talk about people's issue. They only talk about the vandana of the Mahamanav, basically. Shallow fakes. So what is shallow fakes? There is one term called deep fakes. There is another term called shallow fakes. So shallow fake, these are the manipulated images, videos and voice clips created without AI technology. Deep fakes. What is deep fakes? Deep fakes are created by artificial intelligence. For example, you may have seen numerous videos. In videos where Modi ji is singing a song for the Prime Minister of Italy. What her name is? I don't remember. I don't know. जो भी है, ठीक है, he is singing a song, ठीक है, he is saying something obnoxious. These are deep fakes. No politician says these kind of things, but deep fakes are used. So what is shallow fakes? Shallow fakes are manipulated images, videos and voice clips created without AI. Deep fakes are manipulated images, videos and voice clips created by deep fakes. That's it. Sorry, AI. Integrated pest management. We discussed it just a bit earlier in Pyra, something that Odisha has launched. Integrated pest management is a sustainable approach to managing pests that uses a combination of method to minimize risk to the people, property and environment. So please remember this term. What is integrated pest management? It is a process of using natural inputs to control the pest without using artificial chemical fertilizers and all, which destroy environment, health and soil. Next, Punnett square. Just remember the term and its meaning. Punnett square, named after the British geneticist. Name is not important. UPSC will never ask this name. State pieces may ask this name. The Punnett square is a grid used to predict the possible genetic outcome of offspring when two individuals with known genotype are crossed. Simply speaking, when you have a kid, when two partners have a kid, what kind of genes that kid may inherit, that that you can understand by knowing Punnett square. That's it. इससे ज़्यादा नहीं जानना. So what is Punnett square? Punnett square is basically a method by which you can know what the gene type your kid may have, simply speaking. Last term, gravity hole. Gravity hole is where Earth's gravitational pull is weaker, leading to a sea level dip of over 100 meters. So why it was in news? It was in news because in Indian Ocean there have been discovery of some gravity holes. Simply yaad rakhna, what is gravity hole? Gravity hole is a place where Earth's gravitational pull is weaker, leading to a sea level dip of 100 meters. That's it. Clear hai? So this is what I have for, I think it is April first week. From April first week I have collected these very important terms. That much is sufficient. Clear? So आज तो बहुत छोटा सेशन रहा, 11 मिनट का हमारा. We will keep on continuing half an hour session. ज़्यादा बड़े सेशन नहीं होंगे. Daily we will have a half an hour session in which we will pick important terms, very prelims level data. This entire series is focused for prelims only. If you find hard to clear prelims and you find very hard to understand what should we read in current affairs or not, then this is the series for you. I hope we will be able to help. The PDF for this series you can get into the comment section and the description where you will get the link. You can go there and you can also go to the website to find the link for the PDF. Okay? With that note, we will meet again tomorrow with some other fact. We will continue with April. This is the first week of April. We will continue with second and third, fourth week of April, and from there we will keep on moving till we come to the present. Remember, only prelims we are discussing. Okay? With that note, have a nice day. Bye bye.